hallowed be your name. You came from heaven just to come show me your way. And in your will, I'm assured of having a home in heaven. Oh Lord my God. All right, good evening, everyone. We'll be starting right away because of time. Today we are looking at to fulfill your calling, start living in your own prison. It's still on the work series. To fulfill your calling, start living in your own prison. To fulfill your calling, start living in your own prison. Now, what do I mean by prison? First of all, let's define that. Many people are imprisoned, not their own prison, but they are imprisoned by the job they are pursuing. They are imprisoned by social media. They are imprisoned by so many things that many are not even conscious of how much they've been imprisoned. There are so many people around you that want to put you in their own prison in life. Some people are kept in prison by social media. Some are kept in prison by their job because they really do not have time for any other thing in their life. Some spend about 4 to 6 hours every day on social media. Not because they are learning something, but because they are chatting, gisting, or checking out other people. Some are kept in prison of religious organization. They came voluntarily into those organizations, but they can't leave because they will be called all sorts of names. The religious institution today, for many, is a modern and sophisticated prison. Remember, you came in by yourself, but you can't just decide that you want to leave. Why? Because of what people will say. If you don't build your own prison, no one will help you build it, and everyone wants to put you in their own prison. And when they do this to you, that means they are in charge of your life and you're not in charge. When you put yourself in your own prison, it means you are in charge of your life. You decide what you want to do. You dictate how you want to live because you are in charge of your life. When you are in your own prison, you are in charge of your life. When you are in your own prison, you are in charge of your life. You are in charge of your life. But guess what? Many are not in charge of their life. Someone else is in charge. You know, there was a story, true story. This was a doctor, a medical doctor, who was imprisoned by the church such that he was attending to a patient, but because he's a worker in the church and he was called to report immediately to the church. Guess what? He had to leave that patient and go to the church. He had to leave that patient and go to the church. He has to leave the patient, leave the hospital, and go to the church. Do you know that a surgeon in an operating theater was told to report to the church by his pastor, and he refused to leave the patient? Do you know what they call it? That is rebellious. That is rebellious. Why? Because he refused to be imprisoned. So many people have been imprisoned by religious organization. Some have been imprisoned, like I said, by social media. Some is their job. Some is their job. Unfortunately for many, they don't realize this until in their latter years, latter life. They don't realize it until later in life. For some other ones, is their family that imprisoned them, extended family in particular. They are in prison of the extended family. They are not in charge of their life. They are controlled by this family member. Some is even the nuclear family. Because they really don't have a life. You know, I tell people when they are married, have kids, even though you are married with kids, you're still supposed to have a life. Those kids, I give you 18 to 20 years, they will leave you. You will now realize you were supposed to have your life. You will now realize you were supposed to have a life because they will leave you, either you like it or not. They will leave you either you like it or not. And this is very important. Very, very important. Many do not have a life. Why? Because they've been in prison, but we are supposed to be in our own prison. That means you are in control of your life. Because when someone is in prison, for example, what happened in prison? There is a warder that determines what you do, when you eat, that determines if you can go out or not, if visitor can see you or not. Practically control your life. Practically control your life. The prison of your job could be one of the greatest prisons you could find yourself because you give hours of every day to that job. And you cannot do without that job. You know, people take destiny-sensitive decisions because of what to eat and what to drink, even though Jesus said, labor not for the meat that perisheth. People take destiny-sensitive decisions because of what to eat and what to drink. Destiny-sensitive decision because of what to eat and what to drink, even though the Bible says, labor not for the meat that perisheth. Labor not. Labor not. Labor not for the meat that perisheth. But there are destiny-sensitive decisions that people take just because of what to eat and drink. Their job have imprisoned them. They can't do, you know, there's nothing like being free as human. There's nothing like having your freedom. And you can only have that freedom when you've been able to develop yourself to a level that you are in control of your income. Because if you are not in control of your income in this life, you will spend your entire life just earning a living. You will spend your entire life just earning a living. You will think you are growing in career. It's when you leave that particular job, you realize that I've actually been helping someone else build his own empire. And they pay you a salary. It's good. until you are 30, 35. I recommend from 30 to 35, you need to take that decision and be in control of your life. If you are not in control of your own income and you need to rely on someone else to pay you, and you're in your 40s and 50s. In fact, what is painful about this is that the older you get, the more difficult it becomes for you. The older you get, the more difficult it becomes for you to come out of that prison. When I was leaving Diamond Bank 2010, July, I left July 31st, actually. I remember going to see one of my boss, my mentor in the bank at that time. And he said, Dele, I knew you were going to leave. I wish I've taken this decision many years ago. I knew you were going to leave. Why did he say that? He wished he had. The reason why he could not now is that his bill is so large. If he leaves to pay his bill in a month, he won't be able to get that money immediately. At this time, I'm sure he was in his 50s, if I'm not mistaken. A great man. Now, why do we need to be in our own prison? To be in control of our life. You know, you really cannot fulfill your calling if you don't have control of your life and your time. Or rather, you can't do it to the fullest. If you don't build your own prison, someone is going to build it for you. And to build your own prison is to organize your life in such a way that everything you do is directed towards your goal in life, particularly in fulfillment of your calling. Everything you do is directed towards your goal in life, particularly in the fulfillment of your calling. Everything you do, everything you do, everything you do. That is when you are in your own prison. A prisoner is an individual that is always being controlled and is at the mercy of other people. And at the mercy of other people. So why do people get themselves into the prison of others? Why do people become imprisoned? Why do people get themselves into the prison of others? It's because they don't have their own goal in life. And sometimes they are trying to respect those that have imprisoned them to fulfill their goal because they don't have their own goal in life. They're not free to dream and say, this is what I want to do, and go for it. And say, today I just want to work from home. Or today I just want to read. Or as in decide, you know, when I'm leaving the house every morning, I decide what I want to do for that day. Typically, I will meet with my team in the morning. Then for the rest of the day, I decide what I want to do. I'm doing a PhD program. Sometimes I'll be writing my papers. I have some African-wide training program I'm doing. I can be doing the presentation. I think there's so much I have going at the same time. I just look at which of them is urgent and at the same time important and deal with that for that day. And decide what I want to do. Each time I was talking to my wife recently, I was just thinking about it and look, you know, it's so important for you to be in control of your time. and your life is so important. It's so important. It's so important. So people become prisoners because they don't have their own goal. You know, when you don't have direction, someone will give you a direction. Since you don't have one, someone will give you. Since you don't have one, someone will give you. Someone will give you a direction. Because you don't have one that you're going yourself. Because you don't have one that you're going yourself. Someone is going to give you. Why? Because you need to survive. You need to survive. And in the bid to try to survive, you will have to submit yourself, your time, your life into the hand of someone. You will need to submit yourself, your time, your life into the hand of someone else. And you know what? You really don't have choice on this matter. You don't have choice because you've not been able to make up your mind and say, look, I want to be in charge of my life. I want to be in charge of my life. I want to be in charge of my life. So the question then is, when will you begin to respect yourself, your time, your own priority, and your own goal and life mission? When will you begin to respect that? And the reason is, actually, people don't think in terms of calling, purpose. They don't think in terms of fulfillment. They think in terms of survival. They think in terms of survival. And because they think in terms of survival, that becomes a challenge for them. Because they think in time of survival, that becomes a challenge for them. Survival is a very wrong way to think. It's a very wrong way to live. When Jesus warned us against it, many don't understand what it means. You know, nowadays people are rushing abroad. It's good to get a better life. Only that if you are frequent in that environment, if you go there for holiday and you spend your money, you will now understand, and you study, you'll be able to understand the challenge Nigerians are facing in that country. That many of them don't even have savings. Every money they make, they spend to run the system. And I mean, only few that are probably having a high-paying job and also disciplined to save, not living an extravagant life, can boast that they have some reasonable fund. In retirement, many of them don't have anything. They live on pension. So because people don't live for something that drives their life and what they do and how they live, it then becomes very difficult for them to really and truly live in their own prison, because they really are not living for anything, actually. After all, we were told to go to school, so we went to school. We were told to go to higher institution, we went to higher institution. We finished, we were told to get a job, so we get a job. The next thing is to get a wife or a husband. The next thing is to get married, and that's all. After that, get comfortable, maybe with a house and a car. Get comfortable. After that, Begin to pay bills of the children. Begin to pay bills of the children. You know, it's amazing how we live as human beings. I think it's amazing, thoroughly amazing how we live as human beings. It's so unthinkable, actually. How we live as human beings is so unthinkable. But guess what? That's how we live. People don't live for a purpose. So they don't have their own prison in life because they don't live for a purpose. So they have their own prison. But all of us should live in our own prison. You know, Jesus has his own prison. He said, look, I have a target. I must walk the work of him that sent me while it is day. Jesus came to show us how to live. He came to give us ideas of the best kind of life. He came to give us ideas of what life should be about. That life should not just be lived for things, but for a higher ideals. So if you are not discovered what your life is about, if you are not discovered the problem you want to use your life to solve, you won't be able to have a goal that will make you to be in your own prison. The essence of this session tonight is to make you begin to think in that direction. Create for yourself your own prison. So you will not respect yourself, your time, your priorities, because there's no goal or mission in life. Life is about just earning a living, paying bills, grow old, and then leave this world. Pay bills, earn a living, grow old, and then leave this world. That's what life is all about for many. So it's difficult for you to respect your time because someone else has paid for it. You must first respect your life goal, life purpose, life mission above other things before you can begin to respect others in your life. The reason why some people cannot say no, no is one of the biggest things you can teach people in life. Many people don't know how to say no. They don't know how to say no. They don't know how to say no. You know why? No is a serious one for them. No is painful for them. They don't know how to say no. Why do they know how to say no? Because they've not been taught to say no. They always have the time. Because they've not put themselves in their own prison. You need to respect your life goal first, above any other thing in this life. Remember the social media prison. Remember the religious organization prison. Remember the job prison. They can prevent you from fulfilling your calling in life. If you don't respect your life goal, you are not going to be able to help it, but to be imprisoned by others' goal. If you don't respect your life goal, that means I must have a life goal. If you don't respect your life goal, that means I must first have a life goal. If you don't respect your life goal, of course, you will help others to build their own empire. If you don't respect your life goal, mission, and purpose, that means you don't respect the Lord that are giving you a life goal, mission, and purpose. If earthworm have a purpose in an ecosystem, if trees have purpose to give life through oxygen, how will the human being be purposeless? He said, before I form you in the belly, I ordain you a prophet to nation. Before I form you in the belly, before I form you in the belly, The commitment to your life goal, mission, and purpose is a sign that you respect God, who has created you and sent you here to fulfill that purpose. That means you respect him above every other person in your life or in this life. When you commit yourself to your life goal, mission, and purpose, it's a sign of your commitment to God. And this is the greatest kind of worship and service that you can give to God. When you sacrifice your time, your talent, and treasure to be of service to humanity, of which you have been called to serve, you know what? That is greatest service to God. And some of this life goal, most of the time, is not within the four walls of the church. I like to give this example of a sister. I can't just help you give her example every time because I love what she's doing. You can check her out on Instagram, Street to School. Street to School. Street to School. You know what she does? She takes children out of the street, enroll them in a school. Today she has her own school, fully sponsored by outsiders, free food, free books, free bags, free uniform for children she doesn't even know. You know what? That is living. That is living. That is living. Because her heart yearned to develop those lives. And she responds to that desire that God put in her heart. She's fulfilling her purpose outside the four walls of the church. She's already imprisoned herself. This commitment to his purpose and calling for your life is more significant than giving that many people do in church. People think because they are giving, they are serving God. If you are not giving your time, talent, and treasure in the area he has called you, that service is not good enough. That service is not good enough. That service is not good enough. Remember, you are here for a reason and for a season. Are you going to say you spent entire life in prison by a job just to feed the body? When your commitment is more towards the goal of other men in your life, that means you are a respecter of man and not a respecter of God. Like that sister I talked about, she already has a pulpit on Sunday. The parents of those children are forever grateful. Some of them are not even Christian, but if you tell them about Christ, they will listen. Do you know why? Mankind will see your good works and glorify your Father. She has a good work already. If you respect your life goal, mission, and purpose, then God will honor you. And if God honors you, then the earth will bow to you. Because of eye service, people have sold their life goal and mission, and this has made them to be unable to fulfill their own calling. It has made them to be unable to fulfill their own calling. It has made them to be unable to fulfill their own calling. Therefore, in order to put yourself in your own prison, you need to first discover your calling, and from this, decide your life goal, and then build your daily activities in such a way that you spend at least 60% of your day around your goal. around your life goal, around your purpose and calling. If you have a job right now, and you have discovered what you want to do, and what you want to do does not align with that job, use the resources from that job to develop yourself to be able to start what you want to do with your life. That's why I said, set a target. Set a target. Set a target. So you're going to work or religious organization or writing exam and doing any certification and personal development program, all should be in the direction of your goal. So you don't go to church because you want to go to church. You're going there to learn, to prepare yourself to fulfill your calling. You're doing training and personal development to develop your skill to fulfill your calling. Everything is around it. Everything is around it. The word routine is a very important word. If you want to build your own prison and abide by your life goal and mission, you need to have a routine. You need to have a routine. You need to have a routine. A routine will bring you to the fulfillment of your life goal. The routine is the prison. Imprison yourself to fulfill your life goal. So based on your calling, decide on your goal of what you want to achieve in this area of your calling in your lifetime. And let's say you want to reach 1 million people, like the lady I talked about, school children across the country, for example. Break this goal down. Break it down into objectives. And that could be in different geopolitical zones or different states. And if it's in a state or different local government, then break down the objective into strategy. How will you execute the objective? How you want to reach them? How you want to raise funds? How you want to get partners? How you want to develop yourself? How you want to get people and human resources required? Strategies. The strategy is what forms your plan. Your plan. Your plan. And finally, your daily activity is based on that plan. The plan is putting time to each of the steps you want to take. So your daily activity is based on your plan. Your plan are based on your strategies. Your strategies are based on your objectives. Your objectives are based on your goal. From goal to objective to strategy to planning to action or activities. This is called the GOSPA model, G-O-S-P-A, the GOSPA model. The GOSPA model. The GOSPA model. So your daily routine is therefore based on daily activity that lead to your ultimate goal in life. If you break down your life into daily activities based on GOSPA, you will be going daily towards the achievement of your goal, step by step. Going daily toward the achievement of your goal, step by step. A routine is your daily activity. A routine is what makes your life more predictable. A routine makes your life more progressive. A routine makes your life profitable. And a routine makes your life productive. This routine is the prison I'm talking about. This routine is the prison I'm talking about. Number one, a routine makes your life predictable. It's easy to predict what you'll be doing. We've been doing this program It was first normally physical once a week, typically on Sunday. Now is online once a week on Saturday. It's a routine for me. And I have a goal. A goal. Of what we're trying to achieve. And that's why, number one, this program is being recorded, such that even when no one is joining, it will happen. Why? There is a target. There's a target. There's a target. One of my goals is to reach out in my app across secular, spiritual, and service to humanity. In the area of service to humanity, I want to reach out to students on campus. In fact, even though the PhD program I'm doing is helping me in my current job because it's in the same line, but you know what? Even though it's helping me in my current business, one of the major reasons I'm doing it is because I want to be a visiting lecturer on many campuses. And on those campuses, I want Life Calling and Career Clinic to be there. And I know I need to reach young people before they get out of campus through the Life Calling and Career Clinic. And if I am not a lecturer, it will be difficult. So the plan is to be a visiting lecturer. And the plan is, by the time I set up those groups, it becomes a lot easier to get across to them through all the recorded sessions I have online, many of them. So if they want to develop themselves in terms of money, there's a series on it. They want to develop themselves in terms of discovering themselves, there's a series on it. They want to discover themselves in the sense of relationship, there's a series on it. They want to discover themselves in sense of work ethics, there's a series on it. They're having challenges of hopelessness, depression, challenges of life. They want to discover themselves in terms of how do you manage depression, there's a series on it. In terms of pain, challenges, disappointment, there's a series on it. And they also have issue with religion, and they want to learn more about God, Christianity, there's a series on it. They want to learn about prayer, because prayer has been grossly abused. By next week, we are starting a series on prayer. Next week, we are starting a series on prayer. Next week, we are starting a series on prayer. And guess what? The title is A Fresh Look. A fresh look at prayers. And I have from part 1 to part 25. A fresh look at prayer. So for the next, between October, November, December, January, February, March, we'll be talking about prayer. Every Saturday. Prayer has been grossly abused. Now, I'm painting a picture of my routine. Every Saturday, I have lectures from morning. I've been busy. I have 2 to 3, sometimes 4 lectures on Saturday, and that will be between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., back to back. Because I have different students, different courses, and I have to handle most of those lectures. Some of them my colleague handle. And I finished that. I already prepare ahead for, like the one for the for prayers. I've already prepared it. It's done. I've completed it. So and I'll start working on a new one after that. The series are all on SoundCloud. They are also on YouTube. Why is it necessary for me? It's necessary because of that vision, of that goal. So everything I do is in that direction, deliberately. Everything I do is in that direction, deliberately. Deliberately. Why? So with all this now, it's easy to reach thousands of people. I don't need to even meet them. And they don't have to even be in Nigeria. What am I trying to say in essence? There's a vision to reach millions of young people, predominantly young people, student, ex-student, people just start to work. But I can't, with today's world, if I don't leverage on technology, I can't achieve that vision. Hence, the need to have it online where anybody around the world can access it. And I have another one in my secular life, what I want to do in Africa. So every Thursday, I have a seminar on different countries in Africa. Last week, we did Senegal, and we started from Algeria, and we're going to Zimbabwe. Secular life. What I believe my life should be about. Why am I giving this example? To just paint a picture in your mind that I'm already in my prison. I'm already in my prison. So my routine are cut out. Saturday, cut out. Sunday, after church, cut out. Weekdays, of course, cut out. If you don't have a routine, you won't be able to do much in life. You won't be able to achieve much in life. To achieve much in life, you need a routine. You need a routine. You need a routine. To achieve much in life, you need a routine. You need a routine. This is so important. This is so important. The fact that many don't understand this is the reason why many are not able to do much with their life. That's the reason why. Because there is no routine. Life is lived haphazardly. People are not living in their own prison, created by daily routine, weekly routine. So even if you are working, what is your routine in the evening? What is your routine on the road? You can maximize traffic in Lagos. You can maximize traffic in Lagos. It's all about routine. It's all about routine. Routine on the way going to work every day. Routine on the way coming back from work every day. Towards that goal, life goal you have. Because you can't really give an excuse that, oh, because I'm busy and working, that's why. Because either you like it or not, it's either you leave that work or that work will leave you. One person will give at some point. It's so important. So if I don't do something about it, remember, if you don't put yourself in your own prison, someone else will put you in their own prison. So remember the gospel model, life goal, broken down into objectives, broken down into strategies, and then plan of action, and finally, daily activities. Leading based on the plan. Daily activity based on the plan. Plan based on the strategy. Strategy based on the objective. And the objective based on the life goal. So a routine makes life predictable. It makes life progressive. Because routine makes you to apply effort. Effort. More. Keep doing it. Effort. Effort. And you will be able to fulfill the law of gestation. Because you won't get tired. Because you are used to the routine. It also makes you more profitable. Routine makes you more profitable in life. Routine is what makes you more productive. Please, you are not here for yourself, but rather you are sent here for a mission and a calling and a goal. And that means the mission is more important than you. You need to make yourself to become a slave to your life goal and life agenda. Even though family is a priority and it's important, But you must ensure family do not take you away from your vision and life goal. Remember, those children will leave you at some point. The wisdom is to ensure that you balance your life in such a way that none of them suffer at the expense of the other. Or none of them become great at the expense of the others. Balance is the goal. Don't put family over and above your life goal. Let me tell you a little bit about family. If you're married, you came into that relationship to bring forth a child that you will mentor to fulfill his purpose. By the time he's 18, 19, he will leave you. You and your husband or you and your wife will need to begin to do something with your own life. If you don't do that early, you might not have enough energy when those children are gone. You might not have enough energy when those children are gone. So start early and balance it out. We are alive not just to make good living, not just to become comfortable, not just to build a family. We are alive to be able to be a blessing through the fulfillment of our life goal and calling. We are alive to be a blessing. We are alive to be a blessing. But if I don't put myself in my own prison, creating routine daily, creating routine weekly, if I don't do it, you know, the interesting thing is at that time, look at today now. Ask yourself, today is 17 or 18? 18, and the time now is almost 8 p.m. So let's say you woke up by 6 a.m. It is now 14 hours since you woke up. What have you done today? What have you learned today? What have you achieved today? What value have you created today? Very critical question. If you don't create routine, time will keep going. You know the beauty of this life is if you do something, time will go. If you do nothing, time will go. So do something so you can maximize and have something to show for that time. We are supposed to be converting that time to value. Converting that time to value. But if you do nothing, the time will go. If you do something, the time will go. Either you do nothing or something, time is going anyway. Time is going anyway. So important. So important, ladies and gentlemen. Time is going. I use the time is going. I don't use the time is going. Is it not wise for me to use that time? The only way you will use it is if you create a routine, because when you create a routine, it makes you to be in your own prison. So even if you don't want to do it, somehow you remember. Because it's something you do know that, okay, this is what I should be doing at this time. This is what I should be doing at this time. This is what I should be doing at this time. And those small efforts, small learning, small this, so those small efforts, remember that daily activity should be based on your plan. Like I said, if you are going to work, coming back from work, so much to learn in traffic. In the evening, so much to do. On weekend, fantastic opportunity to create value. So much going, coming in the evening. Routine. Routine. Remember the prison, imprisonment created by job, imprisonment created by social media, imprisonment created by religious organization. And I gave an example before some of us joined of a surgeon who was on the operating theater and he was called to report immediately in a religious organization. This was in the UK. Of course, he didn't even list, he declined. And he was tagged rebellious. He was tagged rebellious. You know why? The reason is because he didn't imprison himself. So he's in prison of religion. So in the prison of religion. Before I close tonight, remember, we are not here for ourselves, we are here for him. Discovering ourselves, our passion, our calling, and creating routine around it in such a manner that we imprison ourselves is the way to go. Else, you just realize that time will go and nothing will be achieved. So you wake up, just realize that you are 50 already. And you know what? Or 60 already. And there's really nothing to show apart from the fact that you have worked and all you have worked for is just to earn a living. And remember, Jesus said, labor not for the meat that perisheth. He said, I must work the work of him that sent me while it is day. He said, the night cometh when no man can walk. Jesus put himself in his own prison. He put himself in his own prison. He put himself in his own prison because he can only achieve what he needs to achieve within the short time he has if he imprison himself. If he doesn't imprison himself, he won't be able to achieve it. He said, I must walk the work of him that sent me. Why it is day? The night cometh when no man can walk. The night cometh when no man can walk. As human beings, there will be a time for us that we will not be able to do that work again. You will not have the energy. You will not have the fire. Why? Because so many other things are going to compete for your attention as human. So many that are going to compete for that attention, ladies and gentlemen. Because so many that are going to compete for that attention, what then do we need to do? Ensure we imprison ourselves. Ensure we imprison ourselves. Ensure we imprison ourselves. All right, thank you very much for being able to make it tonight. Let me hear from you now. Thank you for joining. Yes, I can see Glory. Glory, how are you? Good evening. Hello, Glory, can you hear me? Yes, good evening. How are you?
How are you, sir?
Very fine. What have you learned tonight? Hello?
Hold on for just 1 minute. Let me go out.
All right.
Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you loud and clear. It's better now.
All right. So from today's topic, you talked about the role of living our life based on our own imprisonment, and you explained what that meant. And you said imprisonment means when you are the one in control of your time, and you can be able to, you are predictable. Your life is predictable every day, not the one being ruled by family, friends, employers, or social medias, or any other thing we can think about that controls us. And you made us understand why we needed to do that. And when we do that, we will tend to achieve more. We will tend to have a good value for time, not just going everywhere every other person wants you to go, right? So you also talked about a principle. I do not really get that principle. I can't remember that principle you talked about when you talk about drilling to achieving ultimate goal, something like that. You talked about that. Then you now said you told us that we need to have a plan timetable, even no matter where we are, whether in old or anywhere, that we can be able to. If we have that, we can be able to achieve our life, and we will be in our own prison. That's what I learned.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, Sam. Good evening. Hello, Sam. Are you there? Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you?
Fine, sir.
Yes.
Okay, I learned that to achieve much in life, we need a routine which will guide our daily activities. And two, we should prioritize the important things first. Hello, sir.
I can hear you. Go ahead.
And we should make use of our time wisely, because night comments when no man can work.
Yeah.
Time matters to man.
Also,
Okay. Good evening.
also, we human beings were born into this world for a purpose.
Yes.
So what we need to do is just to find out the purpose why we were born into the world in all areas of life. For example, if for example, as Christians now, we are to find our purpose in life. Our purpose in this life is to serve God here on earth and to get to heaven. Also, to serve God and get rewarded here on earth and to be rewarded in heaven. For the academic aspect of life, we are to read our study our books and become first class. We should just achieve much, achieve great things. Also, for the routine, I learned that for the routine, we should always set aside time for what we want to do in a day, because that will help us to stay more focused on what we want to achieve in life. Thank you.
All right. And for academics, the goal of academics should be to ultimately fulfill what we believe our life should be about, not just for the sake of academics, but rather to be able to use it as an instrument and a tool to achieve our objective. Yemi, good evening. How are you? Long time.
Good evening, no.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine.
How is work and how is family?
I joined.
Yeah,
I joined very late.
I was just greeting you. I know you joined late.
and one of the reasons is because I didn't put time to what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Today.
Okay.
If I had done so, I would have, there was no way I would forget that there was something I wanted to do at 7 p.m.
Okay.
So it's one of the things I learned from what I heard from you, for just few minutes.
Okay.
That I put a time to what you can imagine. Yesterday I said, okay, Saturday. There's no way I'll be late. That's one for me. Then talking about routine, that there's a lot that you achieve if you have a plan.
Yes.
Anytime I don't go to work, that I'm at home or I'm there to do something and I'm out of work, I look at myself and say that 24-hour time you're going to the island, you come back. And during the week when I'm at home and I'm like, so I've done this, I've done that. That's because I'm able to say that because such times, tomorrow I'll be off work. This is what I need to do. I put a time to read. So going to, yes. So if even while in traffic, You can read books.
You can really
You
maximize.
can do all sorts. If you are not driving. You know, for me, basically, what I've learned is that you should have a plan. Put time to exactly maximize your time. Will come when you can't just have a plan and make the best use of what you have. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone, for being able to join tonight. See you next week. We'll be starting a new series next week. And like I said, let me see if I can show you. Okay, I will drop the flyer on the group. It's called, the series is called A Fresh Look at Prayers. And I was saying before some of us joined that it's going to be for a 6 month. And so between October and March next year. And I was talking about the fact that I'm hoping that it's going to help. You know, there's a big challenge for us as Christians. We have grossly abused prayer. And I strongly believe that